and put your questions in the comments. So, I'm U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I help clients to get their status and permanent residence in the United States. And I'm also here every night around 9 p.m. Eastern Time to take your U.S. immigration related questions. And tonight I have a great topic for you. It is how to get status in the United States if you are out of status. So yes, that is that is a thing, and you may be able to do that, but you still do have to qualify. Not everyone who's out of status can just go ahead and get their status. You would have to make sure that you qualify, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about tonight. Who qualifies to do this? What are some of those ways? Now, keep in mind that I'm here to answer your immigration related questions, so don't hesitate to put those questions in the comments so that I can answer your questions. Now, if you are here, you're here without status, you may be working under the table. However, you may have overstayed your status, your visa, or you may have crossed the border without permission. In both cases, there may be ways to still fix your status and go on to get permanent residence in the United States. And even if you don't qualify to adjust status to get permanent residence, hi there, Oscar. You may be able to get other types of statuses, and I'm going to talk about that. Now, the first is so there are different ways, right? One way may allow you to stay in the United States and be able to get permanent resident. So you stay here, you won't have to leave, and you can get permanent residence. Then there's another way that if you don't even qualify for that, you still can fix your status and then go on to get permanent residence by waiting until you get approved and then go on to get the permanent residence at the embassy in your home country. Now, let us talk about first how to stay in the United States and get permanent residence. So is there any update if the status of F2B cases are moving? So I don't have any updates on any types of cases right now. If you want to check on your particular case, you can always go to the agency that is processing it, usually the USCIS or the National Visa Center or even the US Embassy. So wherever your application is, you should contact them directly. Since I'm not the attorney on your case, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. So have you heard about the DN visa? So it's the TN visa. The TN visa is for Canadian citizens. I've been in the country for 20 years and my permanent resident just passed the 6-year mark. What's the next to get my citizenship? So you'd want to make sure, so you've been in your country for 6 years, for 20 years. So you've been in the country for 20 years and you're permanent resident for 6 years. So you may very well qualify for US citizenship. I can assist you with that. The next step is to make sure that you qualify in every other way. Do you have a good moral character? Have you maintained your continuous residence and presence in the United States? And also, are you over 18 and have you maintained your state of residence for at least 3 months? So go ahead, schedule a consultation. I help clients to get through their permanent resident, their citizenship process. So go ahead, schedule a consultation. I can help you to confirm you first qualify. Now, Shady Reaper, what I also like to add is that even though you have met the time requirement, you want to make sure that you qualify in every other way. If there are issues that you're concerned about, then you want to make sure you look into those issues before submitting your citizenship application. Now, I want to remind you that I am here to answer your questions. So I'm both on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. So put your questions in the comments and I will be able to answer your questions. I already see that I have a like on YouTube. So if you're listening, go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I will answer. Now, Christine Sukram, hi there. It's nice to see you. So I'm talking about how to fix your status in the United States, how to get status even if you're out of status. Shady Reaper, you're welcome. Now, in order to get status, you have to meet specific criteria if you're out of status here. I like to break this up into two ways, right? You can fix your status. Even though you may not qualify for adjustment of status, there is a way. I'm going to talk about that briefly. Now I'm talking about how to stay here. That is the one that people love to hear about the most. And so I want to talk about that. How to stay here in the United States, get yours and get status. So the first is you'll have to do it through a specific family member. Now, if you have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, a U.S. citizen. So in this case, it's going to be if you are the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen. That's the group I'm starting with. Does not involve having a resident relative in this particular category. But if you are the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, immediate relative of a U.S. citizen does not mean everybody, though. So very important for you to know. It does not mean everybody. It's going to be the spouse of a U.S. citizen, the parent of a U.S. citizen, and that U.S. citizen, son or daughter, is 21 and up. If they're under 21, it's not time yet to fix your status through your U.S. citizen child. You'll have to wait for them to be 21 and up. And then also, if you are the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen under 21 and you're unmarried, this could be a possible path for you as long as you also entered the country with permission. That means you were paroled into the country, or that you came in with a visa and maybe the visa expired or you overstayed the visa. If you did not come into the country with permission, like you snuck across the border, you wouldn't qualify to stay in the United States and apply for permanent residence and a work permit through as the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen. So that's a very, very important distinction to make here. This particular category only includes immediate relatives of U.S. citizens who entered the United States with a visa, even if that visa expired, and you must be the spouse of a U.S. citizen, the parent of a U.S. citizen, or the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is under 21 and unmarried. So that's the first. Now, there are other categories of immigrants that can stay here and apply for permanent residence, fix their status, even if they came into the country and overstayed. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate that, Talab. Now, the second category is going to be VAWA. VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act, and with VAWA, it would allow you to stay here, apply for status, your work permit, your travel document, and then permanent residence. And in order to qualify for this, Violence Against Women's Act is there as relief for all genders. Even though it's called Violence Against Women's Act, it is not just there for women's relief. If you're a man and you're going through this, if you're a child and you're going through this, it would qualify you as well. So it's not just for women in marital situations. It covers different types of relationships, and I'm going to touch on that in just a second. Now, if you are the spouse of a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, so in this category, it does include the legal permanent resident spouse. If you are the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is under 21 and unmarried, then this would could qualify you if you experienced mistreatment when you were a child. And then also if you are the parent of a U.S. citizen who is 21 and up, uh, then this could be for you if this U.S. relative mistreated you. So when I say mistreated you or subjected you to extreme cruelty, it not just covers physical violence. Thanks so much for the love, Oma. This includes if you have been verbally abused, mentally, emotionally, financially drained, or financially abused by this relative, then this could be a path for you to obtain relief in the United States without the need to leave. So I'm going to take a minute to answer this question that I've just seen here, and it's my mom is resident and she sponsored me. How long will that take to get through? So Christine, it depends on your age, your marital status, and your mom's immigration status. So I'm going to just say each category, and you're probably going to fall into one of these. Now, keep in mind, if you are here in the United States and you're without status, this is where you definitely want to make sure that you understand your process and you understand what it's going to take. But if your mom is a U.S. citizen and you are under 21, if you are under 21 and unmarried, then right now it's taking 18 to 24 months. And this is a category where you could possibly stay and adjust status in the United States if you came into the country with a visa or overstayed. If you're outside of the country, you're looking at 18 to 24 months. Now, the other is if your mom is a U.S. citizen, you're unmarried, and you're 21 or over, right now it's taking 6 to 7 years. If you are the son or daughter, I mean, in this case, Christine, I think you would be the daughter. So the daughter of a green card holder. So if your mom is a green card holder, you're under 21 and unmarried of a green card and child of a green card holder, you're looking at about 18 to 24 months as well. And that is a faster process right now just because there's no wait list for an immigrant visa number, but that could change at any time. So very important that you understand that. And I think you were already sponsored by your mom, so you would still fall within this category. And so I see Christine, you're saying you're unmarried and you're 31. So in this case, your mom is a resident, so it would be 5 to 6 years. So 5 to 6 years. So the son or daughter of a green card holder who's 21 and up, that is going to be 5 to 6 years. Now, for those who are listening who may be curious about where you would fall, which category you would fall into, I'm going to say this last one because I listed a whole bunch of the other categories. If you're married and married children cannot be sponsored by their green card holder's parent. So the last category is if you are the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen and you're married, that's 12 years. So my sis and bro green card is missing and my dad is a U.S. citizen. Can he file directly? So Miss Smiles, that's where you should schedule a consultation. I think this question came up and I would want to evaluate the children's situation to determine whether it could very well be possible that they're already U.S. citizens, but in this case, it's going to take a lot more evaluation than the life. Now, keep in mind that the information I'm giving you here is not personal legal advice, it's general information. And so you always want to get personal legal advice, especially if you're going through a particular situation yourself and you want clarification, you want a plan to go forward, that's where you should schedule the consultation. All right, so we have a question on YouTube. Okay, so I think, good night. Hi there, good night, Jill. So I went for my interview, but daughter didn't remember to put the 2020 tax paper, but she sent it off the same day. When you think I will get back my passport, please? So it really depends on the embassy that is currently processing your documentation. And if it may take them a while, just depending on how backed up they are. Jill McCaw. What you can always do is get in touch with the embassy and they can give you a better idea about how long they're going to take to first, they're probably going to just make a decision based on the 2020 tax documents that they've gotten and then determine whether you're approved. And then from there, they will send it. They say 7 days, but it is going for 2 weeks now. So yes, that is usually the case where they'll go over what they said. But the best thing, I'm not the attorney on your case, and so I wouldn't be able to tell you precisely. If when I'm representing my clients, I get in touch with the embassy directly, and I'm able to submit an inquiry. However, in your situation, you will have to get in touch with them to determine how long you could expect, especially since all embassies are different, their processes are different, how backed up they are is different. Okay, so Jill, that's where you have to get in touch with the embassy because I'm not the attorney, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what the situation is. All right. So let's see. I see a number of questions back on TikTok, and thanks, Joel McCaw, for the question. Keep putting those questions in the comments on YouTube because I am now going to be doing YouTube and TikTok at the same time every night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So feel free to put your questions in the comments. That's what I'm here to do. All right. So my sis, let me see. How long does spouse of a green card holder take? Latoya, it's nice to see you here as usual. And I'm glad you asked this. The spouse of a green card holder, right now it's taking 18 to 24 months. It is faster than usual, and it is just about as fast as the spouse of a US citizen. The reason for this, though, is because there is no wait list for a immigrant visa number. So that is why it is taking shorter than usual, but that is not going to last for very long. So you have to make sure that you submit your application to get this processing time. So Trujillo, do I have to be a student to get DACA? I'm 26, been here since I was 3, no criminal record. I got my GED, and I've been married to a natural born for over a year. So now you don't have to be a student. That is not the law yet. And so what you should do, there are multiple ways that you may be able to fix your status. So that is where Trujillo tribe, get in touch, schedule a consultation because I would really love to tell you your options. There may be a waiver process available to you. At this time, DACA is on hold. So if you have not applied for DACA and you're not renewing, unfortunately, it's on hold and we are looking for. Also, I had DACA, it's been expired for maybe 3 years. So if you've already had DACA, I'd want to evaluate your case further just to see if this is a situation where we would be able to submit it again. But in any case, based on your background, based on the fact that you're married to a US citizen, there are ways to still fix your status. But I need to speak with you in a consultation. Now, this is through the waiver process or even through adjustment of status, just depending on how you came into the country. If you cross the border without permission, that may involve the waiver process, but it may be your only option at this point under the law. But schedule a consultation. Trujillo tribe, there may be multiple options, and that's where I want to schedule a consultation with you. All right. So my husband is documentarily qualified, but I didn't meet the income requirements. What can I do? So Rose Lorraine, it's likely you will probably have to get a co-sponsor to be able to meet those income requirements. If my spouse dies during the filing process, what happens? There is a widow. So Chance, I hope that is not something that you're looking at. If so, Trujillo tribe, yes, go ahead, speak with your husband, and then get in touch with me. I'm going to put my number here where you can go ahead and call. And you can also visit the website. And when you visit the website, you will see multiple ways to get in touch. All right. So, so there is a process for a widower. You have 2 years after the death of your spouse, if they're a U.S. citizen, to be able to qualify for this. Also, there may be VAWA just depending on what the case was, if you were being mistreated, and that's what I was talking about. So if you're being mistreated by a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, there may be VAWA as well. Even if your spouse dies, you have up until 2 years, but it's going to depend on the circumstances here. So there's a one for widowers of U.S. citizens, and then there is also VAWA if you and your spouse were in a particularly abusive situation. So Latoya Plath, so your husband did. I'm glad because you are still within that time frame. Now the time has run out on me. I will be on Instagram in a minute, so go ahead and join me there. Thanks so much for your questions. I'm the Immigration Attorney on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook as ST Law Office. So you can go to Facebook or you can go to Instagram. I'm going to be there in a minute. As a matter of fact, that is where most of my content is. It is on Instagram where and Facebook as well, where you'll see videos, get updates, and be able to join me. So you are now able to join me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can choose any which one that you want to join me, or you can follow me on all of them. And just, if you don't see me on one, you'll catch me on the other. I'm 9 o'clock here on TikTok or YouTube, and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram and Facebook. I will continue this topic. It's a very broad topic. There's more to talk about, so I'm going to cover this tomorrow. So join me tomorrow at Trujillo Tribe. I will get more in detail with the waiver process and in this case, adjustment of status. I talked about it already. So you can get more information about their possible solutions for you. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you in the morning, or I'll see you tomorrow. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I hope to